How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to M.A.D Reactions. Thanks for joining me. And happy Halloween, peeps. Hey! So look, if you've just jumped off from the last one I've just done, this is the stories. Now this is seriously disturbed urban legends, like Halloween urban legends you won't believe exist, but they actually do. Right? Again, this is Mark Terror, right? Wow, is all I can say. Honest to God. If you've watched the last one, hopefully it is freaky like that, because that last one was just off the wall. Honest to God, if you've seen it, then you'll understand what I'm saying. Now this one is from that one, right? So you're ready to dive into this. Check them out, Mark Terror. Honest to God, the content they've got is bloody amazing. Really good freaky stories and very good scary stuff. If you like, obviously you like this sort of stuff, you won't be watching. So, but you know, check them out, Mark Terror. Go to his channel, subscribe, do what you got to do. And if you haven't subscribed to us, please do so. It's all free, and then you become part of this crazy asylum that we like to call it, because we're all bloody mad here, hence the name. All right? Lovely jubbly. Right, let's do this. Mark Terror, Halloween urban bloody crazy legends. Let's do this. Come on.
The next time you hear a knock on your door on Halloween night, think twice before opening it. Because it may not just be an innocent child asking for trick or treat. It could be her, the faceless girl, wandering through the shadows in search of her next victim.
Pretty girl, isn't she?
She seems harmless until the moment you see the chilling void where her face should be. Those who ignore the gentle knock at the door or hesitate to give out candy find themselves facing something far more terrifying than a simple prank. This is just one of the sinister legends you're about to discover now. Are you ready to face the lurking terror on the other side? So, put on your headphones, turn off the lights, and hide under your blanket. Let's dive into the scariest Halloween stories. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Poof.
The faceless girl who knocks on doors.
Oh.
In rural areas of the United States, a dark legend has circulated for decades, especially around Halloween. It tells of a mysterious girl who knocks on the doors of certain houses during Halloween night, asking for trick or treat like any other costumed child. At first glance, she seems ordinary, wearing a mask and holding a candy bag like all the other children roaming the streets that night. But there's something deeply unsettling about this girl, a feeling many residents try to ignore. The legend says that if you open the door and give her candy, the girl will silently thank you and move on to the next house, seemingly normal. However, those who refuse to open the door or take too long to answer report something much more terrifying. If the girl feels ignored, she will return that same night or in the following days, knocking insistently and disturbingly. But the worst happens when she decides to reveal her true face.
Oh, God.
If, for any reason, you insist on seeing what lies behind the mask or refuse to give her candy, the girl, without uttering a word, will slowly remove the mask. And that's when the absolute terror is revealed. Instead of a face, there's only a smooth, pale surface. No eyes, no nose, no mouth. A complete void, as if her face had been entirely erased. This moment is described as paralyzing, as there is no expression, only a lifeless abyss where human features should be. It is believed that this faceless girl is the spirit of a victim of a tragic accident or murder, condemned to wander eternally on Halloween night. Some versions of the legend say she was a girl who died in a fire, leaving her face completely disfigured, while others claim she was abducted and her body was never found, leaving her trapped between the worlds of the living and the dead, without identity, without a face. Now, she seeks souls to share her pain, or something more sinister. Those who confront her directly, trying to scare her off or drive her away, often suffer terrible consequences. In the days following the encounter, these people report feeling a constant presence around them. Mysterious knocks on windows or doors torment them at night.
You're going to wish you gave them the sweets. You're going to wish you opened that door because you want that little girl there to lift the mask up.
And the sensation of being watched in the darkness becomes unbearable. The legend warns that ignoring or challenging the faceless girl may result in supernatural events haunting the house until the next Halloween. The most disturbing stories speak of strange, unexplained accidents happening to those who reject her. Objects fall from shelves without reason, mirrors shatter, and even people are found injured, unable to remember how the incidents occurred. Some say that the girl herself returns to the house.
And these are real reports, you know? Real reports from real people that have had real freaky, faceless girl encounters. I mean, could you bloody Adam and Eve it? My God.
Silent, just standing at the door, as if waiting for something. And the sense of fear only grows, because no one knows what really happens when Halloween night finally ends. That's why it's said that if the faceless girl knocks on your door on Halloween, the best choice is simple.
Open.
Give her candy, ask no questions, and she will leave. After all, no one really knows what happens to those who refuse to follow this basic rule. The faceless girl is always lurking, and on Halloween night, she might be at your door, waiting to see if you will be her next victim.
If any of you have heard of any of these stories, even in my last video, with the stories that were told, obviously, you know, these are all real. I mean, the last video, all the stories are real happenings, what really did happen, like police reports, etc. Same as it's fucking freaky, isn't it? Oh God.
The legend of the pumpkin mask killer.
What?
In a small town, two friends were preparing for Halloween and decided to go to a costume shop to buy their outfits. While browsing the shelves and picking out their costumes, they noticed a strange man at the back of the store. He stood still, wearing a pumpkin mask, staring at them. At first, the boys didn't think much of it, assuming he was just a weird customer. After choosing their costumes, the friends went to other sections of the store to gather accessories, but noticed that the masked man was still watching them, motionless. Unsettled by the stranger's presence, the two quickly paid for their items and left the store.
See ya.
Upon reaching the street, they noticed something even more frightening. The man in the pumpkin mask was now standing on the corner, watching them again.
Oh.
Despite their fear, the boys tried to ignore the situation and returned home.
Shit.
They spent the rest of the evening adjusting their costumes for the big event the next day, when they planned to attend a Halloween party. However, around 10 o'clock, when one of the friends left, they found a macabre surprise. Upon opening the door, they found a pumpkin mask identical to the strange man's hanging on the doorknob. Terrified, the boy who stayed home tried to forget what had happened.
I mean, obviously, this geezer knows where you live. Should have, bloody hell, mate. Should have told the old man or the old Bill or something.
Thinking it might have been a cruel prank.
Yeah.
He threw the mask in the trash and went to sleep. But the next morning, he received the devastating news that his friend, the one who had left, had been found dead. He had been brutally stabbed inside his own home during the night, with no signs of forced entry.
Bloody hell.
The only clue the police had was a pumpkin mask left at the crime scene.
Jesus.
Desperate and consumed by fear, the surviving boy decided to return to the costume shop to search for the masked man. Maybe he could understand what was going on and who that stranger was. However, when he arrived at the store, he found no sign of the man or the mask he had worn. The shop employees claimed they had never seen anyone matching that description. When he returned home, still shaken by his friend's death, the boy found something that chilled him to the bone. Hanging from the doorknob of his own house was the same pumpkin mask he had thrown away. It was then that he realized the horror of the situation.
Oh, shit.
The killer was now after him,
Oh,
and the mask was a warning.
Shit.
It is said that on Halloween night, if you find a pumpkin mask hanging on your door, you must run immediately. That mask is...
That doesn't mean go putting things on, going out and getting a load of pumpkins masks and sticking them on people's doors. Naughty, naughty.
the sign that the killer is watching you, and if he leaves the mask, it means you will be next.
Bloody hell.
No one who has received that warning has ever escaped.
I've never,
And those
ever...
who tried to confront him were never seen again.
I've never heard that. Have any of you heard that? I've not.
The legend of Veronica in the mirror. Many years ago, in a small town, there was a young girl named Veronica, fascinated by the supernatural and the mysteries of the afterlife. She was always seeking ways to communicate with spirits, especially on Halloween nights, when she believed the veil between the world of the living and the dead was thinnest. Her curiosity led her to a dangerous practice, using a Ouija board.
Honestly, I know I probably am like a broken record. You're probably saying if you watched me quite a bit, I don't agree with Ouija boards. I just think they're really, really, if you don't know what you're doing with them, they can cause you a world of doom. A real doom.
On the 31st of October, Veronica, without considering the consequences, decided to perform a Ouija session alone. It was said that on that day...
That's another thing, sorry for stopping, but how can you do a Ouija board on your own? I know people have done it, but I don't understand how it could. Surely, I thought you need more, no less than two sort of thing,
The dead wandered freely in the world of the living, and she wanted to see what would happen if she tried to communicate with them at that precise moment. She locked herself in her room, lit candles, and placed a pair of scissors beside her to cut any negative energy in case something went wrong. At first, the session seemed normal. The planchette moved slowly, answering her questions, until suddenly the lights began to flicker and the room grew cold. Veronica felt a strong presence, something dark watching her. It was then that the scissors, which had been lying still beside her, began to float in the air, as if an invisible force was controlling them. Before Veronica could react, the scissors violently flew toward her neck, slashing her throat and killing her instantly. However, the most terrifying part was yet to come. Since it was Halloween and the world of the dead was temporarily open, Veronica's soul did not manage to pass to the other side. Instead, she became trapped in the mirror that was in her room, doomed to wander between reflections. The legend says that since that day, Veronica's soul haunts anyone who dares to summon her. If you stand in front of a mirror, especially on Halloween night, and say, "Veronica, I'm here," 3 times she will appear. Her pale and bloody figure will emerge from the mirror, trying to exchange places with you to escape her prison. If Veronica manages to reach you, she will take your soul and trap you in the mirror, where you will remain until the end of Halloween night. It is also said that even if you don't invoke her directly, simply thinking of her while looking in the mirror may be enough to draw her presence. She will begin to appear in the corners of your vision, haunting you until the night is over. That's why it's said that on Halloween night, you should never think of Veronica while standing in front of a mirror. Many who tried to summon her were never seen again, and those who survived tell stories of chills and whispers, always remembering her face emerging from the glass trying to capture them. The legend of the house.
Thing is, though, I mean, growing up, obviously you hear all sorts of things, like Bloody Mary, all that sort of stuff as well. And, like, it depends on what your beliefs are, I mean, you could do it, and then something happens, and you put, oh yeah, it was that, but it's just a coincidence, or is it real? We don't know. That's the thing. We just don't know. I mean, there are so many out there. Why are they there? They must have got there for something. For some reason they're there, isn't it? Do you understand? You know what I mean? So.
Decorated with bodies. In a small Texas neighborhood during Halloween, it was tradition for families to decorate their homes with scary decorations to celebrate the holiday.
I love them.
That year, a local store announced a promotion. The best decorated house would win an all-expenses-paid trip to New York. This news motivated many families to go all out, transforming their homes into true works of art. Among all the houses, one in particular stood out. The house won the prize, and the family living there seemed very happy with the victory. However, after a few days, no one was able to contact them to deliver the prize. Calls to the house went unanswered, and strangely, the house remained decorated even after Halloween had passed. Additionally, a strong odor began emanating from the property, disturbing the neighbors. Worried, The neighbors called the police to investigate. When officers arrived, they knocked on the door, but there was no response. Sensing the strong smell and suspecting something was wrong, they decided to force their way in. Upon entering, they were met with a horrifying scene. Inside the house, they found the bodies of the woman and the son of the family, dead for several days. The situation became even more disturbing as they moved through the house. The officers headed to the tree where the hanging figure had attracted so much attention. Upon closer inspection, they realized in horror that the decoration was not an ornament, but the real body of the father of the family.
Bloody hell, I've actually hung the real geezer in the garden, my God. Whoa, bloody hell. Bloody
Hanging
hell.
and decomposing in plain sight. The decoration that had won the prize was, in fact, a macabre scene created with the real bodies of the house's inhabitants.
Bloody hell.
After further investigation, it was discovered that something strange had happened that Halloween night.
Do you reckon do you know what I reckon it could be? I reckon that, as the guy said, that there was like, all houses were in competition with each other, and because they won, I reckon someone got the right so they went and done away with the people that owned it and turned them into the freak show. Oh God, the mind boggles, didn't it?
Some believe that a family from the world of the dead took the place of the real family, killing them and using their bodies as part of the decoration. When Halloween night ended, that macabre family disappeared, leaving only death and mystery behind.
The legend says that on Halloween night, the veil between the world of the living and the dead weakens, allowing malevolent spirits to walk among us. They can take over homes, as happened with that family, turning Halloween celebrations into deadly traps. After the mystery was uncovered, the house was abandoned, as no one dared live there, fearing the dead might return on another night. The babysitter and the man upstairs. It was a cold Halloween night, and a teenager named Laura was hired to babysit 2 children while their parents went out to a Halloween party. The house was large, old, and isolated, which made Laura feel a little uneasy, especially that night when the wind howled outside and the streets were empty. After putting the children to bed, she went downstairs to watch TV in the living room. After a few minutes, the phone rang. Laura answered, but only heard heavy breathing on the other end of the line.
Remember, these are all true stories. True stories.
Thinking it was just a Halloween prank, she hung up and went back to watching TV. However, the phone rang again, and this time a man's voice whispered, "Have you checked the children?"
What?
With her heart racing, she tried to stay calm and hung up, thinking someone was trying to scare her. However, the same call repeated twice more, and the man's whisper became more insistent. The deep, eerie voice kept repeating, "Check the children." Desperate, Laura decided to call the police. She explained what was happening, and they promised to trace the call and call her back as soon as they knew where it was coming from. Trying to stay calm, she went upstairs to check on the children and found everything in order. The kids were sleeping soundly.
I would have done that first and then called the police. I don't know.
As she went back downstairs, the phone rang again. This time it was the police. The officer's voice was urgent and alarmed. "Laura, get out of the house now! The calls are coming from inside the house!"
Oh, fuck.
Panic seized
What
her.
about the kids?
She dropped the
You just bolting out of the house. Go and grab the kids.
phone, ran out of the house, and moments later saw the police arrive. When the officers entered the house, they discovered something that made Laura's blood run cold. Hiding upstairs in the children's bedroom closet was a man with a knife in his hand.
Oh my God.
He had been making the calls from one of the rooms while Laura was downstairs, unaware. His plan was clear. He had been watching her the entire time, waiting for the right moment to strike.
Bloody hell.
After the incident, Laura was never the same. The legend of the babysitter and the man upstairs is told in various towns as a warning to young people who babysit in isolated
I bet she doesn't babysit anymore. I mean, you wouldn't, would you?
houses.
Bloody hell.
And on Halloween, when the streets are more deserted and terror seems to lurk in every dark corner, this legend becomes even more real. Jack-o'-lantern.
Oh, God.
Long ago, in a small Irish village, there lived a man known as Jack. He was infamous for being a drunkard and a trickster, living without concern for anyone but himself. One day, Jack encountered the devil in a bar, and knowing his time had come, the devil told him he was there to take his soul. But clever as always, Jack made a proposition. He asked the devil to buy him one last drink since he had no money. The devil, curious about Jack's audacity, agreed and transformed into a coin so Jack could pay the bartender. However, Jack, instead of paying for the drink, placed the coin in his pocket, where he had a silver cross. The cross trapped the devil in the form of a coin, preventing him from returning to his original state. Jack then made a deal. He would release the devil, but in exchange, the devil could not take his soul for a year. The devil, with few options, agreed to the deal. Jack then freed the devil, and for a year he tried to improve his life, though without much success. When the year passed, the devil returned to claim Jack's soul. Once again, Jack used his cunning. He asked the devil to retrieve an apple from the top of a tree as his last wish. The devil, thinking there was no harm in this, climbed the tree. As soon as the devil was at the top of the tree, Jack quickly carved a cross into the trunk, trapping the devil once more. This time, Jack made a bolder proposal. In exchange for his freedom, the devil had to promise never to take his soul, neither now nor after his death. Furious but defeated, the devil agreed to the pact and left. As the years went by, Jack eventually died. However, his soul found no peace. He was rejected from heaven for his sins, and when he tried to enter hell, the devil cast him out, reminding him of the deal.
Wasn't even wanted in hell. Bloody hell, mate.
With nowhere to go, Jack was condemned to wander eternally in limbo, between the worlds of the living and the dead. To light his way in the darkness, the devil gave him a piece of glowing coal. Jack placed it inside a hollowed-out turnip, creating a sort of lantern.
There you go.
Since then, he has been known as Jack-o'-lantern, wandering the cold nights, especially on Halloween. Over time, the tradition evolved. People began using pumpkins instead of turnips, carving faces into them and placing candles inside to ward off lost spirits like Jack on Halloween night. And so, the legend of Jack-o'-lantern was born, an eternal figure in Halloween folklore. If you
And that's how you get, that's where it all come from, the pumpkin with your lights in it, jack-o'-lanterns. What do you reckon then? Mark Terror. It's different. Oh, freaky, creepy stories. So that's your two lots of stories, right? So, I'm going to give you a little ending, a little bit of a dessert, right? So, after this one, jump onto another one, right? Remember, 10 o'clock tonight as well, we're premiering a real freaky, creepy investigation where the girls went out and done what they do best. Honest to God, you need to watch this investigation. It is insane. Honestly, it's insane. Absolutely insane. So look, you have a fantastic evening, whatever you're doing, okay? Seriously, right? There will be another one coming out after this, but these are your two for you guys, right? The next one, I'm afraid, is for the members. So if you want to become a member, it's cheaper. It's cheaper than the price of a cup of coffee for the month, you know? Literally. Sign up. Go and watch the rest of them over on the membership side, because I swear you're going to enjoy it. It is well worth every penny and your time. Honest to God, you've got some really good stuff over there. Anyway, these are your two stories. I hope you enjoyed them. I really do. And let me know what you thought. And let me know if you've heard any of these stories, you know, from either the ones on the previous video or these urban crazy Halloween encounters. So, yeah, let me know what you think, all right? But anyway, you have a brilliant, brilliant Halloween, right? I hope you get your freak on. And if you're going out partying, enjoy yourself, but be safe. If you're drinking, drink responsibly. And remember, get a lift there, get a lift back. No driving. And you just have fun, but stay safe, yeah? And always, take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay blessed, stay safe. And most of all, definitely 100% tonight, you stay scared, all right? Love you loads, peeps. God bless.